and want something different when it comes to this very sensitive sort of activity.
Mr Chairman.
Honourable Nick Smith.
Mr Chairman, I just have to take a call to expose some of the bunkum and contradictions that I have heard from members opposite. You see, all year we listen to the argument that New Zealand needs to create jobs and wealth, and there's wailing and moaning about the job opportunities in Australia and the number of people that are going there, particularly to Western Australia. And you have a government that's committed to growing the minerals and the petroleum industry here in New Zealand, and every one of those tests, members opposite say no. Members opposite say no, and I say to the Andrew Littles and the Damien O'Connells of the Labour Party, who I hoped would bring to this debate a little bit of common sense and a little bit of balance, that they have let the middle New Zealand, who are looking for jobs, looking for opportunities for wealth, down. Let me go through a few of the contradictions. The first of those that I challenge Mr Little on is this. For the 9 years that Labour was in government, there was no environmental rules about mining in the EZ. Zero. No environmental rules about mining in the EZ. And we did not hear a peep from the Greens or the Labour Party about this. And I'm proud to be part of a national government that has put in place a law that requires consents for petroleum and other activity that occurs within the EZ. Absolutely. But the challenge I've got for Mr Little and others on Labour's side is this. If somebody's gone and got a consent from the Environmental Protection Authority to be able to explore, to be able to do surveys of resources in those areas, will they defend the rights of people to use those rights? Because that's the question. Let's read exactly what the SOP that Mr Little objects to says. It says that it will be an offence for people to interfere intentionally with a person who is out exploring. And what effectively the Labour Party is saying is they think it's okay for people to interfere in people going about their lawful exploration activities. And I think, and what Mr Little said was this, what Mr Little said is this: if people legitimately think that they are right, they should be able to interfere. Well, I have to say to Mr Little, there are New Zealand citizens who quite properly believe there should be no exploration of petroleum or minerals anywhere. I bet those people. So because those people hold those legitimate views, Mr Little, are you saying that they can interfere, and damage people's property? I'm proud to be part of a government that says no. You see, it doesn't. I've read the Crown Law opinion that makes that point that Mr Little interferes with absolutely wrong. He's wrong. But let me put it in this way. Well, let me just very simply put it for members about protest. It is absolutely a right for people to protest outside Parliament. It is absolutely the right of people to be able to protest outside my electorate office. But it's also the law, set down very clearly in court decisions, that they may not stop my legal right to be able to access Parliament or my legal right to be able to access my electorate office or other citizens. And that's what this law is intended to do. And then I come to the contradictions. I stood on the electoral platform at the last election next to Marianne Street, Labour's environment spokesperson, who said with respect to the Bathurst mine on the west coast, quote unquote, leave the coal in the hole. That's what she said, leave the coal in the hole. And now I've had Damien O'Connell, who purports to represent that community, saying, oh no, they're in favour of Bathurst. Well, I simply say to the Labour Party, no wonder you're in opposition. No wonder the public's got no confidence in you when you don't even know your position and you send such contradictory messages on those sorts of issues. The last point I'd make is this. This bill provides for decisions to be made around minerals jointly by the Minister of Conservation, myself, and the Minister of Energy and Resources. Well, that's because we believe in balance, and I'll tell you something else, Mr Speaker.
Honourable Nick Smith.
Actually, we're a government that agrees to work together. We're a blue-green government. We have a balance of both conservation interests and economic interests. Well, Mr Goff says, well, actually, he doesn't agree with balance in these decisions. Well, I actually stand up front as a Minister of Conservation that says this country needs prosperity. This country needs jobs. And we as a government are going to make balanced decisions about how we create jobs, how we use resources wisely, and how we also ensure that we protect. And I hear Mr Goff interjecting. I've got a question for Mr Goff. Why is it, given all the rhetoric I've heard in speeches from members from the Labour Party, that mining in national parks is absolutely sacrosanct, why did they in 2006, why did they approve a mine in the Paparoa National Park? I tabled the documents in Parliament where their cabinet approved a mine in a national park, but then get up in this house and pretend that somehow that is absolutely sacrosanct. Mr Speaker, this is a government that's about jobs, this is a government about balanced environmental protection, and this is a bill that is about New Zealand in an environmentally responsible way, taking advantage of our minerals and our resources to create the jobs and wealth that this country has to do if it's going to be able to provide that sort of future for New Zealanders. And members of the Labour Party that scream about jobs and about wealth and about higher paying are absolutely contradictory, because every time a bill comes to this House to do anything to create with jobs, whether it's the film industry, whether it's the mining industry, whether it's any area, they say no, and that is why they're completely out of touch with New Zealanders and their desire for growth and jobs in an environmentally responsible way.
Brendan Horan.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Order.
Chair.
Order. Sorry, order. We have a point of order. Moana Maki.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Minister and the Chair referred to a legal opinion that he had on SOP 205. I'd ask that he table it.
I don't recall
Yes, he
that
did.
occurred.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Well, let the Minister respond.
I said very clearly in my speech that I had read an opinion. I did not quote it. The standing order is very clear. Yeah. And what's more, actually, the member is simply incorrect in the way in which he's quoted me.
Yeah. No, Brendan Horan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sir,
You're wrong.
New Zealand has a proud tradition of democracy. We've fought in wars, World